My journey with English. So, um, you might think, your journey with English, why would I care about that? Well, you shouldn't really. I just want to talk about my past. So, some of you who knows who I am might probably know that I come from Indonesia. And Indonesia's, I feel like personally at least, lately there's been a lot of English speakers. And I'm sure that most of you, if you are Indonesian or from somewhere else, you might want to start learning English because it's very important. I don't need to tell you that. It is possibly one of the most used language in the world right now, alongside Chinese. And it's very, very important if you want to communicate with some other people from around the world, of course. Though you can't exactly talk to everyone because, of course, there are some countries out there where they don't use English to speak primarily. But for now, I just really want to talk about my first experiences with the language. So, at first, I came into an international school called Singapore Indonesian School, blah, blah, blah. It was in second grade, and I think that was the first serious time for me to take this language seriously, if you know what I mean. Before then, I have already, studied English very, very terribly, like to no success at all. I cannot speak English before that. But I feel like we all start somewhere, right? And for me, it was being thrown into an environment where I was forced to speak English because I came in on the second semester of second grade primary. So you can tell that I came in really late, whereas everyone else had already had like a year or maybe like half a semester. I mean, half a school year to be able to practice English, talk to friends. I was just thrown in there, no idea how to speak English, no idea how to communicate with everyone. But I feel like it is one of the best things that has ever happened to me because being able to immerse yourself in an environment to be able to speak very fluently is something very important. For example, I'm trying I have tried to study Chinese, but it's a mixture of me not liking the language and also I don't really have an environment to talk to in Chinese. So I just dropped the language. Now I'm not saying Chinese is like a bad language or anything. It's just it's really really hard. Now I am studying Japanese. For those of you who don't know, I'm about to go to a university in Japan, and I hope that everything can go well there. But anyways, so English. I started to be able to speak it somewhat fluently, but it's still kind of broken on the fourth grade. I met a lot of wonderful people, of course, and I feel like the best way for you to be able to learn a language is to slowly, um, have people to be able to talk to, whether it be native people, native speakers, or or people who already can speak the language, right? So, trying to force yourself is going to be very difficult at first. Um, but little by little, you're going to be able to um, make up broken sentences. Your friends will be able to fix that, and then you can continue on to fix your grammars and vocabularies. You can start off with something simple. I remember I vividly said something along the lines of toilet where in during my first day of school. And I feel like some people laughed at me back then. I mean, they didn't laugh at me because wow, your English sucks. No, they were just laughing at me because they thought that I thought that I couldn't. I mean, that they couldn't speak Indonesian, which was actually what I thought at first, but but then over the years, everything got better. I joined in IGS, which is another very, very popular school in Palembang. And, well, although English is not their primary language, it is quite important in the environment too, because we have standardized English tests like TOEFL, IELTS, and blah blah blah. And we were taught that these are very important, which of course they are. But in at this point in my life, it's not about it's not about being able to speak the language anymore. It's all about being able to answer questions and listen and be able to read and answer questions over and over and over again, which I think is a wrong way to be able to study English, which is why I feel like there are some students in my class who are completely unable to speak English, and when they were forced to learn the language like this, learn any language for that matter, I don't think it's going to work out very well. But of course, options were limited. I was one of the lucky few who already had an affinity for the language. So it was a breeze for me and a few of my friends as we just answer questions that just seem way too obvious for us, right? And then we continued on to senior high school. I got a pretty good score for TOEFL, but we ended up not using TOEFL because, well, I'm not entirely sure either, because it was junior high school, so I was confused as to what should I use TOEFL for? They didn't told us. They didn't tell us. So in senior high school, it's different because IELTS is something that we really need because we most of us want to go abroad, and even if you're not going abroad, taking IELTS can help you a whole lot, right? But then it comes with its own set of challenges. Although it's mostly similar to TOEFL, you got more challenging type of questions, and of course, what I would like to call the do it yourself kind of questions, where you're given a prompt or given a sentence, given something, some form of information, and you have to be able to uh, make up stuff like on the way. You don't even have to be honest in it, as long as it makes sense and you're able to use some more obscure vocabularies in a natural way. You're going to be able to score IELTS easily. Me personally, I think that listening and reading, it wasn't that big of a deal, but writing and speaking, whoa, those cause my scores to plummet. I think that if I did well in speaking enough, I would have been able to get 8.5 in my overall score. But I'm stuck with 8 just because of that one speaking examiner. So, well, lots of my friends complained as well. So I feel like it's not just a me problem, right? Anyways, we continue on, and here we are. So yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. I feel like I would like to clarify that if you can, and you are studying English right now, please be sure to study the formal version of it. If you want to hang out with people and you speak formally with them, it doesn't matter really. They're not gonna see you as like, oh wow, he's so weird. No, I feel like that's the better idea because with all the internet things going on right now, it's going to be much more difficult to find people who are able to speak much more formally, if you would call that, like being able to convey ideas in a professional environment. I think that will be important in the future. So just a little tip for all of you English speakers out there who are studying currently. Now, I personally am not a formal speaker. I know a lot of my friends who are, and they are debaters, negotiators, and of course, amazing communicators. I am still studying, and I believe that we all have a room to grow, and we all should always um, be able to learn more and more through experiences and whatnot. But anyways, I suppose the other best thing you can do is find a good teacher you can relate to. I am very lucky to be able to meet Sir Agus, Miss Junie. If you guys are watching this video, I'm really, really grateful for all of your help. And yeah, this is. I wouldn't be here without you guys. So, again, if you can, always find someone who you can talk to nicely, whether it be your problems with class, maybe not personal life, but classes, or you just want to hang out with this someone. I feel like having a teacher that you can do that with is very important. I suppose that it's quite rare in this day and age, especially since younger teachers are going in. That opens a whole lot more possibilities. But essentially, it all comes to the same thing. English is very important. You should always grow and don't stop from where you are now. And I'm sure that you will be able to succeed in the future.